Over the age of 35, stop everything you're doing right now. After a lifetime of eating fatty foods, you may run the risks of a stroke or heart attack due to plaque buildup in your veins and arteries. To learn how you can reduce your risks, visit youthfountainlab.com or call 1-800-853-7856 today. This may be a life-changing call for you or someone you love. Thank you, and we hope to hear from you.
And we talked to, I think, Lunel, Godfrey, and he had a little going back and forth about T.I., about him coming onto the comedy scene and kind of being a comedian. And a lot of their arguments was like he didn't have to go through, what they had to go through to get to that spot to be a comedian, starting off in small clubs and maybe getting booed off the stage. So how do you feel about T.I. now, bypassing all that, going on to the main stage?
Well, it's funny that you would mention those two, because I can understand them feeling that way, because they used to be salty at me. Because I mean, I'm dead ass serious. Right. I mean, they might even still be salty. They act like it sometimes. I'm here to talk about it. Everybody got their chance to be on a motherfucking podcast. It's my that's all right. All right, fuck with me. All right, if you want, okay, we can talk about it. But I'm just messing. I'm not. But I. But I mean, both of them have had great careers since. I always talk about it. Just like I'm very heavily into sports, and I always remember them guys that used to almost make the team. And then finally, when they finally get good and shit, they want to come back and talk about it. Right. That's what this is like, you know. And when I look at T.I.'s situation, I think about Paul Robeson. I think about Sammy Davis Jr. I think about Jamie Foxx. I think about Nick Cannon. I think about multi-talented people. Why can't T.I. be one of them? You know what I mean? And then when you look at his stature. Why wouldn't you want to put him on a show? People want to see him just to see what he gonna do. They know who he is. So I'm gonna try to sell that ticket just like y'all be trying to put these Instagram comedians on shows because they have so many followers. It's the same process. But the only thing about T.I., which I know for a fact, is he done sat in a comedy club in Atlanta week after week after week for years, and he knows how to put together a set that will make people laugh for 20 minutes to an hour. And he's been around the right team of comedians like K-Dub and these guys. So for all these people to like point fingers and stuff like that, God bless them. But I remember when Lil Duval made a record, went platinum. Yeah, true. I remember when Eddie Murphy made a couple records. You know what I mean? So why can't you tell some jokes? It's the same thing, but people are entitled to their opinions, and that's what has happened. But even the same thing with, when the headliner goes off stage, the show is over. But if the owner see that a superstar is in the room and he want to do some minutes, that's going to happen. You don't have to go see him or not. That's on you. But that's show business. And that's your business.
Well, Bob's, absolutely. Uncle Bob's opinion. Obviously, you one of them men that can see somebody's talent. You can see it. And T.I. has it. There's no doubt he has it. Does he have it in stand-up, in your opinion? We've never seen it live.
Well, I have to actually see him. Okay. I haven't seen Tip. And I told him, I told him if he comes this way, I have a couple rooms that he could definitely get up and do some stand-up. And let the truth be told, I do have my opinion. And my opinion has led me to a great place in this business.
Yeah.
And, everybody else's opinion has led them other places too. But, I can only do what I do. And I can only state mine. And I do believe that he can make it happen. Now in terms of the he don't need the it. He already it. You dig what I'm saying? That's when I say. I had some water somewhere.
Right behind you, too.
Okay, so here. Brother, listen, that's when I say the it. Can I take you to that next level? T.I.'s at that next level already, so he doesn't have to need Bob Sumner's validation. However, Bob Sumner is here to say, I believe he can get the job done. And I'm going to tell you this. If he couldn't, they wouldn't be, even though they know that he can help generate ticket sales, they ain't trying to put no bullshit on stage neither.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? And he ain't trying to be on stage to embarrass himself neither. So obviously it's going well. I can't wait to see him.
You think it's coming? You think that people are waiting for that one time where he totally bombs and they boom off the stage?
I don't think he's going to bomb though. Because if he hasn't really, nobody has said he's bombed yet. So how is he going to Benjamin Button?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I also heard you tell a great story. I'm sure you said it on interviews, but I heard it on Clubhouse about Bernie Mac. So I'm going to ask you who your favorite comedian of all time was on Def Jam. And you said Bernie Mac, and you delivered the story on why and how I Ain't Scared of You motherfuckers came about and just the greatness behind that. I don't want to sound too redundant, but talk about that moment and also talk about some of your other favorite moments in Def Comedy Jam that you can remember outside of Bernie.
See, the thing with Def Comedy Jam and favorite moments, when Def Comedy Jam aired, whenever it would air from season to season, I would be so past it. Because you got to remember, I get all of that. I've been looking at it. Right. So other people's reactions are their reactions. And in their favorite moments, I have moments that probably you don't even know who that comedian is, type moments, you know what I mean? But at the same time, the Bernie moment is, and it's so, again, I saw that they did a documentary on Bernie's I Ain't Scared of You, you know, and a lot of times, I guess because I'm not the Hollywood guy, you know, you would want to get the real answer. Like right now, they're supposed to be doing a biopic on him. I spent like 2 to 3 years with him long before Kings of Comedy, doing them same jokes he did on the Kings of Comedy. You know what I mean? There's stories that we had, like there's scenes that would be perfect for this biopic. When we were in Tuskegee and Bernie held court like he was the dean of students. You know what I mean? It's things like that. But back to I Ain't Scared of You. And Bill actually just told a story on the Guy Torry's Fat Tuesday. And the story was kind of mixed up because Kevin Anthony, comedian out of D.C., was actually on that show and did well. But when Bill was telling the story, they showed Kevin Anthony as if he was the one who got booed. And he wasn't the one that got booed. It wasn't you, Kev. So anyway, I'm happy to say that for Kev because it was crazy. But somebody did get booed. But we didn't air that person. We didn't even show that, part. But what had happened was whenever I would showcase the comedians per episode, it would be 5. And we would break it down to 4. So if it would only be 3 who do well in one show, I might take 2 out of the 5 out of another show and put them in, there's different ways to insert, make it work. So this particular show, the first comedian killed and then the next comedian flatlined.
Damn.
I mean, it was bad.
Wow.
But the next 3 comedians all killed. Well, I should say the next 2 killed.
Right.
So you had the first one killed, the second one flatlined, the next 2 killed. So now it's Bernie's turn. Everybody done forgot about the flatliner. Everybody. Right. But when Bernie walked in that stage, all everybody remembered was, now this was Bernie's second episode. His first episode, Stir It Like Coffee, Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Like they remembered that great performance. So everybody was happy and clapping and giving it up to him, right? And then Bernie just looked at the audience and said, "You don't understand. I ain't scared of you, mother." Right? And the place went crazy because it took all their laughter of seeing Bernie, their happiness, to a whole nother level because here he comes. He ready for part 2. And Kid Capri and Bernie had already been on tour with us. So they had their whole vaudeville, they had all that already popping. So when Bernie and Kid had that thing going back and forth, it was magic. You know what I mean? And it was a sad moment for that one guy who didn't do well, but boy, did it do wonders for Bernie in that performance with them crazy ass jeans on. I always think about that. I was thinking about that outfit that Bernie had on. That would be a beautiful thing to give to the museum in their comedy department, the African American Museum. They have a comedy exhibit down there, and everybody remembers that.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's up with Bernie.
Appreciate that.